good morning to you, Grenada Carrier Crew, Pretty Matnik, and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the world at large. Yeah, the folks out there in the diaspora. Good morning. Yeah. It's another wonderful day. It's another wonderful day. It's a wonderful day to be alive. Yeah. And we do what we always do. How are you doing this morning, folks? I do hope that everything is all right. And as my good pastor, Bishop George Fletcher, would say, even if everything is not all right, you are not doing too bad. Yeah. You've got life, right? So there is hope. And of course, this morning, no exception. We're going to give you the word for the day. And the word for the day this morning, it's transmography. Transmography. And it's a verb, right? Transmography. And what it means, folks, it's that it means to change something significantly and often with humorous or jarring effect. So transmography means to change something significantly and often with humorous or jarring effect. It can be used in a sentence in this way. If all goes as planned, the school's gym will be transmogrified into a spooky gallery of Halloween delights. Yeah. Now I hope you're jotting down these words, all right? They're going to enhance your vocabulary. Challenge yourself to learn one new word a day. Learn to spell them, learn to pronounce them, and learn to use them in a sentence. So that way when you speak, you can interchange your words because you've got a bank of words called your vocabulary that's enhanced. Yeah. 27 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Remember, we've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather at 15 on to 7. And this morning we'll be having some guests here with us from the Ministry of Education. You know, the month of October is designated Child Month. So we'll be talking along those lines. So look forward to that right after the weather. And let's look at the thought for the day. Now remember that the past is not your future. Tomorrow is another day with new opportunities. Be forward rather than backward looking. If you choose to drive your car while looking into your rearview mirror, you are inevitably going to crash. I'll repeat the thought for the day. Remember, the past is not your future. Tomorrow is another day with new opportunities. Be forward rather than backward looking. Now, if you choose to drive your car while looking into your rearview mirror, you are inevitably going to crash. In essence, what it is saying is that the past is gone, right? It's gone. Good. Look forward. If you are given the privilege to see tomorrow, it's a brand new beginning. You cannot go back and undo what you've done in the past. But starting from today, you can start afresh, right? Yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day thus far. All the busmen of the nation, good morning to you. Remember, you've got precious cargo on board. Yeah, so you drive to arrive alive. Yeah, be very careful. Be very, very mindful of that. Drive to arrive alive. Keep on driving with due care and attention. Don't forget that. And we've got the quiz for the day, the riddle for the day. Now listen to this. Frank was born in 1933 and died in 1946 at the age of 50. Wow. Frank was born in 1933 and died in 1946 at the age of 50. How can this be? Give me a call, 435-2041. Let me hear you this morning. You find you all getting my quiz, my riddle easy. Let me see if you can get this one. 435-2041. That's the number to call. Frank was born in 1933 and died in 1946 at the age of 50. How can this be? Gotcha. While at this, I want to say a very special happy birthday to Aurora Joseph out there in Corinth in St. David. I usually call her Scrimmer. Well, you're celebrating your 3rd birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Scrimmer. Your mom, Hannah, your dad, Bernard, the entire home circle, your aunt, your uncles, your grandmother, your cousins. I included want to chip in and wish you a happy, happy, happy birthday today, Aurora. Nice. So this one is tough. Nobody's calling. 435-2041. That's the number. Frank was born in 1933 and died in 1946 at the age of 50. How can this be? Come on, let's go. Good morning. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm okay.
And where are you calling me from?
Ejibile Street.
How is Ejibile? Well, I just look outside looking kind of nice.
Yeah, outside nice.
Yeah, so you think you have the answer for me?
But I'm not sure, I just guessing, eh?
Yeah, guess.
So I know sometimes they have room numbers and stuff, so maybe he died in a room 19 something, you know? I know something that's named a room. I'm not sure, it's apartment building or something.
Right, he was born in 1933 and died in 1946 at the age of 50.
That's the only possible thing I can think about. I'm not sure.
I want you to be a little more decisive. So if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Maybe address or apartment building or maybe something like that.
Okay. All right, keep listening, right?
Okay.
Keep listening, good. You're not far off though.
Okay.
You're semi-right. All right, good. She's smart. She's leaving the options open. Nice. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine.
And where are you calling from?
Concord.
How is Concord this morning?
Good.
Yeah, bright and sunny?
Almost.
Almost, okay. The Christmas breeze start blowing already?
Not really.
Not really. Are you seeing any signs of pigeon peas blossoming?
No.
Wow, like I ain't getting peas this year again, boy. Oh, what? I still like my green peas, you know.
Me too.
Yeah, green peas soup, there's nothing, and there's no better person to cook that than my grandmother. She cooks the best green peas soup in the world.
My grandmother does.
Nah. My grandmother does. In any case, Frank was born in 1933 and died in 1946 at the age of 50. How can this be?
I'm assuming he's born in room 1933 and died in room 1941.
1946. He was born in 1933 and died in 1946 at the age of 50.
Yes.
So you think that is the answer?
Yes, 1946. He died in room 1946.
Okay, he was born in 1933 and he died in 1946. You think that these are rooms?
Yes,
okay.
The hospital room.
Well, you are correct, okay? All right, you are correct. You are correct. And as time progresses, we're hoping that we, get some sponsors and do some giveaways on this because this is exciting, right?
Yes.
So how would you have felt if this morning, when you answered correctly, I rang a bell and said, "Okay, you are the winner of $1 million"?
I'm excited.
all right. Okay, that's just talk, right?
All right.
Have a good day.
You too.
You and the entire family, all right? Good.
Thanks.
Okay, so caller number 1, you remember I said you were semi-right? Yeah, you were leaving your options too open. I needed you to be a little more decisive. Yeah, so that's what happened. He was born in room 1933. I like that one. But it proves to me that Grenadians are really thinking people, man. How you think about that? I would have, if I were you, I would have looked for all kind of mathematical principles to see how that could. Good morning to the St. Clair family in Telescope. As I say mathematical, the late St. Clair man, yeah, he would have found some theorem or something to find that out. Nonetheless, folks, that's it for the riddle of the day. All right, and as I hinted to you this morning, the buzz, what's making the buzz, is going to be interrupted a bit because we've got some representatives from the Ministry of Education as they come to talk Child Month. But what we're going to look at when and if we've got the time. All right, the New Life organization is partnering with Chateau de la Motte to provide trainees with a practical learning experience. Yeah, we'll be looking at that hopefully this morning. And also Glenroy St. Louis, we've got a great opportunity for students to learn from persons who are willing and ready to ensure that their goals and dreams will materialize. Also, Cadella Henry Victor, a very strategic academia, skills and practical. They will be equipped and ready for the job market. Kudos to these people. Yeah, Judy Noel will, Judy Noel, good morning to you. Hope all is well. Now, speaking about social media, GBN Social Buzz got the scoop on with social media users are saying about the recent flooding at the St. Andrew Primary School. The inclement weather posed some challenges for that school. We spoke about that yesterday. People took to social media to share their concerns and to offer suggestions. Yeah. Now, workers of the Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association, they protested in front of their receiving stations in Grenville, Union, Hermitage, Mali, and Guave on Thursday. Why? We are going to take a peek into that. And what is your take on this? Now, a new ministry was launched on Thursday. Thursday, we saw the official opening of the newest Ministry of Government, MIT. We're going to look at that. And also, Anderson Peters is the only Caribbean male athlete nominated for the 2022 World Athletics Male Athlete of the Year Award. I like that. Grenada showing up again. Nonetheless, folks, this is where we break it off. We've got to take the AM edition of news, sports, and the weather. So those of you on television, you will be seeing a rebroadcast of last evening's GBN television news. And for those of you here on Classic FM rather, we've got the AM edition of news, sports, and the weather. See you on the flip side of 7.
MegaFest 2022 Gospel Explosion is finally here. Join the youth of the Grenada Conference of Seventh-day Adventists under the green and white tent at Progress Park in St. Andrews from Sunday, October 9th to the 29th at 7 p.m. and continuing nightly for an electrifying evangelistic experience like no other. Come hear the ever-exhilarating Pastor Oliver Scott shatter the kingdom of darkness with thundering messages from the Word of God. If you ever needed the Lord before, we sure do need Him now. Come find hope in the midst of your pain. See you there.
The National Insurance Scheme continues to make it easy to access our services using the MyNIS online platform. Now we're introducing a new feature that allows you to submit your benefit claims from the convenience of your smart devices. No paper, no hassle. All you have to do is log in to my.nisgrenada.org. Select claims, fill out the relevant information, and click submit. We'll take it from there. It's that simple and that easy. Submit a claim from the comfort of your home as you rest and recuperate. Enjoy the convenience of faster claim processing and monitor the status of your claim every step of the way. We are excited to introduce this new feature to better serve you. NIS is changing the game and the way you make your claim. Access anywhere and anytime with MyNIS Online.
From Television Center at the Grenada Broadcasting Network, I'm Kenroy Batiste. Anderson Peters is the only Caribbean male athlete nominated for the 2022 World Athletics Male Athlete of the Year Award. The athletes were selected by an international panel of athletics experts comprising representatives from all 6 continental areas of world athletics. More in this Rena Pitt Thomas report.
Grenada's javelin champion Anderson Peters is among the athletes shortlisted by the World Athletics for the Male Athlete of the Year Award. The 2-time world champion is the only male representing a Caribbean country to be nominated. Despite his recent troubles off the field, 2022 has been a great year for the 24-year-old. He moved up to 5th on the javelin all-time list after he threw 93.7 meters to set a new North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletic Association record. Anderson's coach, Paul Phillip, says Peters is among 20 male and female athletes nominated for the Athlete of the Year award.
Those athletes are selected from all the major meets hosted and sanctioned by World Athletics, and includes meets like World Indoor Championships, World Outdoor Championships, Commonwealth Games, the Diamond Leagues.
Coach Phillips said that he is proud and happy to know that Grenada is once again on the nomination list, especially Anderson, who is a field athlete.
It's quite an accomplishment. I feel very proud to be associated with it, with the accomplishment and the recognition given by World Athletics. I think it's a big feat coming from a small country like ours and being in the field events. This is also something that I think the country needs to be very proud of as a Grenadian. Having a young man train right here and to be able to rise up to become world number 1 in the javelin this year.
Fans can vote by liking or retweeting the individual graphics of each nominee, which accounts for 25% of the points awarded to the winning nominee. World Athletics Council members will select their favorite athlete, which will count for 50%, and the remaining points will be awarded from votes cast by the World Athletics family, which is made up of athletes, coaches, and officials. Paul is encouraging Grenadians and the rest of the Caribbean to vote for Anderson Peters.
I think this is a good opportunity for everyone who is a fan of track and field, who's a fan of Caribbean youth, to join the world in voting for one of our own. Not only Grenadians, but people throughout the region, throughout the Caribbean, should be proud of the accomplishments of this young man and go out and join World Athletics, all the social media pages, and vote for Anderson Peters as to become the World Athlete of the Year.
If Peters win, he will be the first Grenadian to win the award. The male and female athlete of the year will be announced by World Athletics in early December. For GBN News, I am Rena Pitt Thomas reporting.
The New Life organization NULO is partnering with Chateau de la Mothe to provide trainees with a practical learning experience. Christina John was in hand to capture the students on a tour of the construction site.
20 trainees and 1 instructor from the electrical installation program at the New Life organization NULO visited the construction site of the Chateau de la Mothe Grenada CDLMG Thursday morning. This visit was a study tour organized by Mr. Garfield de la Mothe, owner and managing director of CDLMG, a construction company aimed at providing the trainees with practical exposure to the concepts and theories being taught at the electrical installation class. According to project manager Mrs. Shanta Cox, the study tour is the first in many that will be conducted. She explained that it's the desire of the owner and managing director, Mr. de la Mothe, to do his part by using his project and resources to support the educational ambition of students, noting too that he believes holistic education changes lives, not just the life of the individual, but families and maybe an entire generation.
A CU where everybody runs to TAMCC, and NULO we know is put out some of the best students. So we thought that we partner with them to give them the hands-on as to what they learned in the classroom. Okay, during the other stages of the project, the students would get an opportunity to do their practical, whether it be a month, 2 months, and some of them would be employed during the construction phase of the project. That's part of the whole process. So whatever is taught in NULO, this is an area where the practical component can be provided. We have already spoken to some of the students. We have already given assistance to some of them.
NULO believes this study tour showcases the holistic approach involved in their program delivery and is an excellent opportunity for their trainees to see the various components of a construction project and how it all comes together on site. Students shared their thoughts.
The site itself is an interesting site. I like the concept of what they're going for with the 3 floors and buildings and stuff. My takeaway is that a lot can be done with not too much electricians on the site.
Impacting me a lot because you've seen how electricians have been more impacted in construction, because the first person to be on a construction site is an electrician and the last person to be on a site is an electrician. Company has impacted NULO because the founder of the project has came to NULO, so he giving back to the community, also the people of Springs, helping the community be a better place for young teens and young skilled electricians as us.
Lone female in a male-dominated field, Antonia Bowen says she is even more inspired to pursue studies in that field.
We started doing piping quite recently, so yeah. Would love to further my electrical education.
The CDLMG project involves the construction of a 10-unit, fully furnished, self-contained hotel and tourism facility with rooftop facilities that will cater to short-term visitors to the island and a venue for business and social events. The project is located at Springs in George. Christina John, GBN News.
Other news: workers of Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association protested in front of their receiving stations in Grenville, Union, Hermitage, Marley and Guelph on Thursday. They are calling for a new collective agreement after 5 years. Rena Ped Thomas tells us more.
Fully paid workers of the Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association protested for 1 hour in front of their receiving stations throughout the island on Tuesday to express their discontent with the management of the GCNA. President of the Bank and General Workers Union, Joseph Mitchell, says that as the union representing the workers, they are disappointed with the constant postponement by management of GCNA to negotiate a new collective agreement on behalf of workers.
Currently, this agreement, the last agreement, expired about 5 years ago, right? So just around November 2017. It's normally a 3-year agreement, so you can see here that it's 5 years old. And despite the fact that we have had a pandemic, right, and the union had been very understanding in terms of that period, but around December last year, we sought to recommence negotiation. What happened is that we have had 3 rounds of negotiation: December, April, and July. And between that, we had tremendous difficulty actually getting them to come to the table within those periods.
Mitchell says that while they have made some strides in the 3 sittings they had between December of last year to June this year, it has been difficult to get the managing body of GCNA to continue the negotiations.
In the month of August, they postponed. In the month of September, they postponed. And you may ask why the protest today? Because actually today should have been another round of negotiation. And for some unknown reason, again, they postponed it. Workers are frustrated because, of course, we understand the high cost of living, the cost of electricity, and all these things. And workers are struggling. They are operating still on 2017 salaries. And they are, workers at the lower end of the salary scale. So, of course, they are very much affected and they are very much dissatisfied with the whole attitude in terms of the consideration that GCNA is given to them.
The union president said all workers at all nutmeg receiving stations protested as a sign of unity. The workers and union representative is calling on the management of Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association to stop stalling and come to the negotiation table.
We have asked all the stations at this time to come out in solidarity of others, right? So we expect it to be in Grenville, in Hermitage, in Mali, and in Union, and here at Guav. The issue here is not that the management is saying, look, we cannot afford to do this or we cannot do the other. The issue is that they're just not willing to come to the table. They're finding it important to do everything else rather than coming to the table to discuss the situation of the workers. It tells us where the workers are in terms of their priority list, and this is not really sending a good signal.
GBN sought comment from GCNA General Manager Senator Roderick St. Clair and the Speaker of the House and the Chairman of GCNA, Mr. Leo Cato, on the matter. However, all attempts proved futile. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Well, noting the opportunity within the upper house of Parliament to lift the dignity of each colleague senator, President of the Senate, Dr. Decima Williams, highlighted the occasion to build development. Dr. Williams added that their task of working on and managing legislation toward that goal is commencing in a month that records a significant part of Grenada's history.
As we are starting our work now, in the month of October, may I remind us that this is a memorable month, nationally and internationally. On the national front, we will have a week-long recall and commemoration of the national disasters of October 1983. We continue to pray and work for the healing of our people, the building of our institutions, and the sustainable development of our country.
state-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel. Available only at Rubis stations.
You've asked for it, and now it's here. The NLA announces its new mid-morning draw, commencing September 30th at 9:45 a.m. Yes, you heard right. Draws for Pick 3, Cash 4, and Playway will now be conducted 3 times daily at 9:45 a.m., 12:45 p.m., and 7:45 p.m., Monday to Friday. The Saturday draws remains twice daily. And that's not all. Simply place your non-winning Cash 4, Pick 3, and Playway tickets valued at least $10 from a single purchase in the NLA branded box at your favorite sales location for chances to win 10 prizes of $1,000 each. Whoa! $10,000 is up for winnings. Compliments the NLA. Be sure to write your name, address, and contact info on your entries before submitting. Promotion runs from September 30th to October 28th and would be drawn on Friday, November 4th, 2022. NLA, making your dreams a reality while supporting sports, culture, and nation building. Must be 18 or older to participate. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
We're back at Television Center. Today saw the official opening of the newest Ministry of Government. Christina John was present and has this report.
The ceremonial cutting of the ribbon by Honorable Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell marked the official opening of government's newest ministry, the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, MIT. The National Democratic Congress-led administration installed this new ministry following the June 23rd general election. It is headed by a MP for South St. George, Andy Williams, and housed at the Financial Complex, Building Number 6 on the Carnac. It was hinted by Acting Permanent Secretary in the MIT Ministry, Perron Johnson, that Grenada is the first to establish such a ministry in the entire region. Minister Williams described it as the heart of government's transformation agenda.
MIT is new. MIT is a first. MIT have no parents or predecessors. It has nothing to draw from or build on. MIT is the Prime Minister's vehicle to drive the government's transformation agenda of the country. That is what MIT will be. The ministry takes leadership in driving the governance and transparency in the performance of its work through 3 pillars: mobilization, implementation, transformation.
He further emphasized the work of his ministry.
The vision for the next 5 years is for MIT to be a professional organization that supports effective mobilization of resources and successful whole government implementation of PSIP geared towards national transformation and alleviating poverty. I pledge to everyone, my colleagues, government, Grenada, let us all work together to envision and create a transformed Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique that we can all be proud citizens of. And together, let's get things done.
In highlighting the vision for the next 5 years, Minister Williams indicated that his ministry will work strategically with project-related staff of aligned ministries and other partners to effect its mandate and to ensure government's business is done in the right way. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, addressing the small gathering, said it requires an all-hands-on-deck approach to realize a true transformation.
Mandate is not just to get things done. The mandate is to get them done better, faster, and cheaper. So let me repeat. The mandate is to get them done better, faster, and cheaper. Just get them done, we will not transform Grenada. And so the transformation process must lead to an overall improvement in the lives of all our people. And that ultimately is the goal of the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. And so while we've established this ministry, transformation will not take place if all of Grenada is not part of the transformation process. And therefore, I want to use this opportunity to continue to encourage all citizens of Grenada, in their own way, to be part of the transformation process that needs to happen.
Chrislina John, GBN News.
Now, a call for more businesses to support culture on the Sister Isles as Carriacou launches its 45th annual Parang Festival. Renaped Thomas reports.
Minister for Carriacou and PT Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Tevin Andrew, expressed his disappointment with the lack of support from businesses on the Sister Isle in the planning of the 45th annual Parang Festival. The minister, who was speaking at the launch of the festival, reminds businesses that once the festival grows, the entire community benefits. He is calling on more businesses to come forward and support culture.
When our festival activities grow, Carriacou and PT Martinique grows. And for Carriacou and PT Martinique to grow, it means that every business, every individual, all of us must be on board to participate in one way or the other. The business community in particular benefits a lot whenever activities like this are put on. And I'm a bit disappointed that more businesses have not yet come forward. But maybe after the launch, Mr. Modest, more businesses will come on board to make a contribution.
Government has increased its subvention to support the festival as they intend to continue the preservation of the cultural heritage. Minister Andrew says that the increase in funds will go towards the growth and development of the festival for years to come.
We understand the importance of building and preserving our cultural heritage. The Parang is 45 years this year. And with that, we recognize that we have to keep the tradition alive so that it can grow from strength to strength. And we decided that this year, for the first time in Parang's history, that Parang will receive not $25,000 from the Ministry of Carriacou and PT Martinique Affairs, but $100,000 from the Ministry of Carriacou and PT Martinique Affairs.
Chairman of the festival, Angus Modest, disclosed some of the planned events for this year's festival.
This year, we are extremely proud to say that we have reintroduced the Friday night Hosanna singing competition, in which we have a total of 9 bands registered so far. The Saturday night will see a combination of regional and local artists, such as the soca sensation from Trinidad and Tobago, Lyrical. Also, from Trinidad and Tobago, the reggae phenomenon Isasha, together with the unit band from Grenada, Golden from Carriacou, and other local acts. On Sunday, 18th of December, our most look forward night will showcase string band melee competition at its truly best. We have a total of 6 bands registered so far. This year's festival promises to be a very exciting one.
Carriacou Parang Festival 2022 will be held from December 16th to the 18th under the theme Embracing Our Culture Through String and Carols. For GBN News, I am Renaped Thomas reporting.
Darling, would you like some tea? I've made your favorite.
Well, thank you, darling. I'm here finishing my blog post to help homeowners understand their electricity bills. You know, nobody likes paying bills. But at the very least, you should know what you're paying for.
That's true. Some people just check the balance.
Exactly. There's so much more information on your electricity bill. That is how I've been tracking our usage to make sure the changes that we made are working.
So, what do you have so far?
The left side of your bill shows the rates for electricity and the government charges. The middle portion shows the number of units you've consumed, plus the history of your usage over the last 8 months. And the right side shows how much you're being charged.
So tell me about the fuel and non-fuel charge.
When you pay your bill, you're paying one charge broken into parts. There's a fuel charge, which is the cost of fuel used to generate electricity. And there's a non-fuel charge, which is the cost of delivering electricity to your home and any other necessary services.
But darling, what about VAT?
Now this is interesting. If you use 99 units or less, there is no VAT. Above 99 units, you pay 15% VAT on the non-fuel portion of your bill.
I love this so far. But wait a minute. Have you added the environmental levy?
That's the final piece. You see, Grenada collects this levy from domestic customers on behalf of Solid Waste Management Authority. This charge is $5 or $10 depending on the number of units you use. So, add the fuel, non-fuel, VAT, and the environmental levy, and that's your electricity bill.
This is really good. I mean, it seems like a lot, but I appreciate that Grenlex shows us a breakdown so we can see the value we are getting for our money, and more importantly, where we're spending it. I really think people are going to value this information.
Grenlex, energizing our Grenada.
Solar lights are back in stock and will be available for purchase at Southern Electrical. Here is a list of the solar lights that we offer. 200 to 300 watt intelligent floodlights with camera, 300 to 500 watt solar street lights, 60, 100, 200 and 500 RGB solar floodlights, 100, 200, 300, 500 and 800 solar floodlights, solar garden lights, 25, 40, 60, 100 and 200 watt solar floodlights, 3, 7 and 10 watt solar wall lights, motion sensor garden lights, motion sensor floodlights, 30, 60 and 90 watt solar street lights with accessories, 5 watt solar wall lamps, 40 and 60 solar street lights, and 100 and 300 solar floodlights with battery power display. Now available at Southern Electrical, Dusty Highway, St. George. Visit our showroom today.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
With your new GUT Credit Union Visa debit card, which gives you access to your cash at any Connex or Visa certified ATMs locally and internationally. Make your payments with a tap of your card using the contactless feature and have the freedom to make purchases locally, online, or overseas whenever you travel, anywhere Visa is accepted. Experience the enhanced security fraud protection through the Visa chip technology. If you don't have your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, speak to any one of our representatives today to do more. Your new GUT Credit Union Visa International Debit Card. A smarter way to access your cash. More smart, more secure.
Folks, I'm sweating. I'm really sweating. I break a sweat. Now, here's the reason why. Scholar decide he lose the marble, so he organize some fellas in Shantimel. They want to play wind ball cricket. So I take in front, I come down in River Twine, and I get two nice coconut branch, and I had two.
Okay, folks, welcome back and good morning to you, those of you just joining us. Well, as hinted earlier, this morning I said to you that we will be having two representatives from the Ministry of Education. As you know, the month of October is usually celebrated as Child Month. So at this time, I say good morning to Dr. Shamaine Christopher, and she is the Deputy Chief Education Officer in the Early Childhood Unit, and also Miss Karen Worm, who is Early Childhood Education Officer. Good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning.
Wow, you all sound harmonious. You all should form a duo and record some songs. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very good this morning. I'm very good. Well, I am thankful.
Okay, you're thankful to be alive. Okay, well, the month of October is usually celebrated as a child month. All right, and children as well as teachers, parents as well, look forward to that month. And in specific, I remember as a teacher, children usually look forward to the march, that day, child month march, and so forth. What are the plans you have for celebrating this month? I mean, we're just coming from a pandemic, so I know things are not fully back to normal as yet. So it's a sort of, makeshift sort of thing. So what are the plans you have in place for Child Month 2022?
All right. So we have some activities that we are going to highlight this morning. We started with the opening address by the Governor General, and on Saturday and Sunday would be Child Sabbath and Child Sunday. So where we encourage the churches to have activities for the children in the church. Plan activities where you can have the children engage. In addition to this, we would have a message which is written by a child. And usually we would use the child who is the top performer in the CPA exam. So they would write a message and we would share it with the churches, and we expect that we encourage the churches to share this message with their congregation on Saturday or Sunday. We have a media campaign, and that's it, all in the process this morning. We are here.
Yes.
Where we really try to promote and try to advocate for our children. And so we have different persons representing at the different media houses, sharing information, especially as it pertains to the theme. So we would start with that. We would have a theme every year, and we try to focus on the theme and share information in terms of advocating and developing awareness of those issues and those challenges, things that are affecting our children, and how we can address those. In addition to this, we have school levels activities. So the schools do a very good job in planning activities for the students and for the communities. We have some really, really interesting and creative ideas that the schools would come up with just for the celebration. So those would take place at the school levels, and schools are responsible, so they would plan their activities. We also have you made mention of the street match. We have the street match. Usually we have a match where the schools in the particular educational district would come together. But for this year, mainly, the schools are doing, some schools will do their match in their community. And we think that is also important. They would stay in their community and have the match. At the end, in addition to this, we also have some activities that are planned from the Ministry of Education and from the Early Childhood Unit. And one of that activity would include two virtual Zoom sessions for parents, and we are really targeting our parents. And for those Zoom sessions, we are going to make the link available to the public so that our parents would be able to join. One of those sessions, we are going to focus on understanding the dynamics of preschool. And for this one, we are just focusing on preschool. Another time we might put some emphasis on another level. But for this session, particular Zoom session, we are going to focus on the dynamics of preschool. We also have another Zoom session which will be facilitated by a special education officer, and that session would focus on special education.
Okay.
So just let me give you some dates so the public can be aware. So for the session the Zoom session with understanding the dynamics of preschool, we are looking at Wednesday, the 26th of October for that session. And it will be an evening session, not during the day, to facilitate, to accommodate our parents. And the special education session will be on Thursday, the 20th of October. So that's 2 Zoom sessions that we want to facilitate to provide some support for our parents. In addition, we have a recording. We are looking to have a recorded discussion, an interview with students. We want to focus a bit on the impact of COVID-19, how it has affected education for them, how it has affected learning, and maybe we can hear from them how, within their experiences, what do they think should happen? How should we move on? Sometimes we do not take the time to listen to our children. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity to hear from our boys and girls. And the month would close with remarks by the Minister of Education. So usually we have closing remarks just to wrap up to close off the month. And this will be done and recorded by the Minister of Education. I just want to throw in there that you see we are wearing our T-shirts today. And as part of the month, we usually have T-shirts on sale. And the T-shirts we usually have would focus on the theme. We'll try to share the message with the public. So for this year, the theme is Children's Care and Education Matter. Let children grow, glow, and flourish.
Can you repeat the theme again for me?
All right. It is Children's Care and Education Matter. Let children grow, glow, and flourish. And that is written, usually we have a design and it is written on the jersey, the T-shirt. So that's what we're wearing here today. And probably if you look closely, if you're able to see it, all right? But that's the theme that is written. And at the back, we have Love the Child. And that is the broad theme that we focus on every year. Love the Child. So these are some of the activities that we are focusing on for this year celebration.
Okay. Now, in one of the talking points I see is supporting young children at home. I want to ask you this question. We're coming from COVID, right? And quite a lot of work was done virtually. Now, how has that impacted the performance of students? Because it was a first timer for quite a number of persons. There are folks who are adults and they would tell you this virtual learning thing is challenging. Now, what sort of results have you been seeing? How has it affected the students where parents had to be involved? And we have instances where parents themselves weren't technologically savvy. So how has that affected them? How what efforts were made to assist the students at home in that light?
All right. So we know that with COVID-19 and all of the challenges that we've had, there have been gaps left in terms of children's ability to read, children's ability to probably problem solve and critically think, reason things out. At this juncture, we know that parents need that kind of support. They need the support of understanding how to embrace, how to support their children at home. So we here want to encourage parents to look into children's interests, pay attention to what children say, pay attention to what children do, so that they can assist the children as much as possible. So, for instance, let's say the child shows interest in an activity or a topic. You don't need to overwhelm them with information, but you can ask open-ended questions that will determine the level of their interest and find ways to help them to explore their passions. Asking questions helps you, the parent, or helps, well, any adult, to model for children's curiosity to be embraced. You can show them that it's okay to go about investigating whatever it is that they like. So let's say a child shows interest in football. How are you going to assist that child or encourage that child to continue loving the football. So probably you will go out there and play the football with them, show them the rules of football. Probably you will maybe watch videos with them with football, or get some books and read to them, or for the early childhood level, you'd want to read with them and encourage them to look maybe at pictures on football, right? Maybe even listening to children is quite important. Listening to hear what it is that they have to say that maybe will draw your attention to their interests. What activities or topics tend to excite them? What things do they talk about when they come home from school? What kinds of books are they checking out at the library at school, or maybe even at home? There are libraries at home. What books are they checking out at home? What types of television shows are they watching that are their interests, that parents can chat about? Parents can learn a lot about how to encourage a child's interest by observing and listening and discovering those things that they like. Taking them to the supermarket for the little ones, and maybe giving the children opportunity to choose things from the supermarket shelf. And when they're choosing, look at what is written on the carton, on the boxes. Talk about the letters. Talk about the pictures. Talk about why they choose that particular item of the supermarket shelf. Discuss probably what they're going to do with the item when they get home. Let's say the child decided to choose cornflakes or a particular kind of cornflakes. When you get home, how are you going to go about using the cornflakes? What is the first thing you're going to do? Or you give a child an opportunity to get a paper, get a pen, get a crayon, get a pencil, and make their own shopping list. So when they get to the supermarket and they start counting off the shelf the things that they're going to put into their basket, you're encouraging math, you're encouraging language, and all of those good things that help the children to grow and develop. And of course, as we're talking Child Month, we want our children to grow, glow, and flourish. And so in order for them to do that, you have to set up the stage, you have to set up the environment, you have to set up the time, because parents need to make time for children. And sometimes parents are a bit busy because work takes up a lot of their time. And they would speak to the children, give them put on the show, the television show, and they go watch it, and they're not there with them. It is important for them to be there with them, listening.
And just to interject, in addition to the educational significance of the things that you highlighted, but there's also the opportunity to have parent-child bonding.
Yes, building relationships is quite important. So as they interact and they converse and they do those things together, relationships are building at the same time.
All right, let me ask you a question.
I just want to add a bit with what Ms. Worm said, and taking us a little into the COVID situation. And because we're focusing a bit today on our young learners, so we're looking at the preschoolers, the 3 to 5 year old child, during that COVID period when they were on the situation where they were using the virtual platform in terms of connecting with the teachers and so forth. That was a bit difficult for the younger children and for the parents as well, because they were just thrown into that situation. And I think especially when it comes to young children, we all know that young children learn best by doing hands-on experience. So that virtual situation was not the ideal situation for them in terms of the way they learn best. So parents had to really step up and make the effort to see how best they were able to support the children at home. And I think some parents tried really well in working with the younger children. We know that it is, for some parents, it is harder in the sense that they have to, they probably can accommodate and work with the older children. It's easier for them because you can give them a book, you can allow them to go online and so forth. But the very young ones, you have to be there to support and be there to provide the hands-on experiences for them. So I think that would have affected our children, or especially our young children. One of the things that we heard came from the schools would have been in terms of oral language development. Some children, when they have a 3+ child coming into school, they carry on with a conversation, their expression, but during that COVID period, after they returned to the classroom, they had a challenge in terms of expression and oral language development. And we can see how all of those, the COVID situation could have impacted that situation.
All right. Yeah. Now, another important thing that I want you to touch on for me is that we spoke quite a lot on parent-child relationship. But in the holistic educational development of the child, how important and significant is it for parents and the child's or children teachers to have a relationship so as they can be that sort of awareness of what is happening in the school, what sort of resources should be used at home to assist in the child's or children further educational development?
It must be a partnership, and this is so important. And we encourage parental involvement, we encourage engagement, we encourage our teachers to engage the parents. This is critical. We're looking there at the common good of the child. Teacher and parents, teacher, family, working together to ensure the success of the child, to ensure that the child reaches his or her full potential. And so the collaboration is important. So we encourage parents to reach out to the school, have a conversation with the teacher, find out what is happening, find out what the child is learning, what is the focus for this month, what is the focus for the term, how can I as a parent help at home, how can I help support at home. What are some of the strategies? Teachers are very resourceful. They can help you with some strategies. They can help you with some things you can do. Individual children, what are they struggling with? Can you have a conversation? Parents have a conversation with the teacher. The teacher will be able to provide some activities, some strategies, some things that can be done at home to help to support the child. In addition to this, we also need the parents to the teachers to share information with the parents. Resources, where can they find resources? And with technology now, this is even easier. All right, it makes it even easier to share information, send an email, send a WhatsApp message with some information, something that a parent can use, or they can direct the parent as to where they can go. But how would that happen? That can only happen if there is that partnership, that relationship, that involvement. It is not just about attending a PTA meeting. It is more than attending a PTA meeting. All right, so we're looking for involvement, collaboration. As I said before, the focus is for the common good of the child. So that collaboration that you spoke about and you asked about, it is very, very important. And we want to encourage our parents and our teachers to work together to make this happen for our children.
And I want to add that one of the things that parents can do is spend time in the classroom. It's okay for parents to inform a teacher that I'm going to come in and spend a day in the classroom to see what is happening at school so that they can have a clearer understanding of what the teachers do in a given day, what their children do in a given day, so that they can reinforce at home.
Okay.
Another thing is, Dr. Christopher would have shared on sharing links. Teachers can share links with parents that they can go online to use, like Kahoot and those different areas, so that they can walk along with their children in a very practical way. Because I often say that children's experience, children's life depends on the experiences that they have. So children experience is what they become. So giving them that quality, empowering experiences is critical.
Let me ask you this, as we make way to wrap up. It's amazing how time flies. We should have had this program for an hour, but you, due to time constraints, we know that parents nowadays, they're very busy, as you hinted earlier. All right, they, as we say locally, they have to do what it takes to make two ends meet, and therefore, quite a number of parents do not have that interactive time with their children. All right, but we know from a teaching background, we know how important it is, especially in this day and age where so many ills are out there. How significant and important is it for parents to stimulate conversations with their children?
How significant is it for parents to stimulate conversation with
and I'm not necessarily talking the academics aspect of it, like the math and so forth that was taught in school today. I'm talking about just hearing what's happening with, like I said on the radio earlier this week, parents need to know who is their child best friend. They click.
Yes, key.
Right? So tell me.
Key in building relationships, key in propelling their children forward, key in helping children to be a bit more articulate as well. So one of the things that parents should do is ask open-ended questions as it relates, because earlier I would have indicated that as parents ask open-ended questions, it will help children to have conversation with them. So for instance, a child comes home and seems to be a bit grumpy, seems to be a bit sad, and a parent may ask, "What's wrong with you?" And the child doesn't answer. A parent could say to the child, "Okay, I understand that you seem to be sad at this moment. I wonder what's happening. When you feel like you want to have a conversation with me, let's have a chat. Let's have a chat about what happened during your day." And don't leave it like that, because if the child does not come back to speak to you, you leave it at that and say, well, he doesn't feel like speaking. But you go back and you don't give up. You go back and you said, I said, when you feel like having a conversation about what made you so down, I want to have a chat with you because I want to help you. I want to find out, what is bothering you so that we can come up with a solution to the issue. So having that kind of interaction will help children to understand, here what? I'm here to support you. And I love you. I love you very much. And whatever it is that you are going through, I am here with you. And I can help you to go through it. Right? So asking those very important questions will help to stimulate that kind of rapport, that kind of friendship.
Okay, one of the things that we encourage here, especially with this topic in particular that we're dealing with, it's Child Month. Parents are involved, so we do accommodate calls. We have a caller on the line. Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, good morning to you, Mr. Innocent, and your guests. I just heard one of your guests made a statement that talked about having the parents coming in at the child's school day. I think that is a very, very essential thing. A lot of times we see how times have changed, and so those things come. And I was saying, I think I called your station and I said, sometimes things are said and we don't even listen to what has been said. Those things said, such important things are said, and they just pass. But I think that is very, very important, because we know that some parents, they're mad when school is on vacation, because then they have to accommodate the children in a greater measure. And so that thing, I think, is something we shouldn't let lie at all. Imagine you have a parent going to a school, even with all the younger teachers we have in. A parent being at school would pick up certain things, and a lot of times, it's not that young people are not thinkers, but a parent seeing certain things, he'll create greater interest, and he could pass on to the teacher, to the principal, and that could be intervened from the Ministry of Education. And you never know what that could accomplish. Have a good day. I really am enjoying this program.
Thank you very much, caller. Wow, kudos to you. Okay,
I want to add to what Ms. Worm said, the conversation with the children and the importance of just having that conversation. And we know that parents have busy schedule, all right? But I'm thinking about those simple activities around the house, like mealtime, like when the parent is cooking, that conversation can be held, having that open conversation with the child. And it's also a wonderful opportunity to hear from the child, to hear the child's opinion, to hear the child, what the child think. And even during that conversation, a parent can also pick up in terms of the child academic skills and where the child is at. When they talk with the child, and simple conversation, walking outside in the yard. How many of them we take the children outside, and do we just allow them to remain inside? Mealtime, cooking, gardening, all of those activities, they are really good activities where the parents can use that opportunity to have a conversation with the child and hear from the child.
All right, we've run out of time, but I'll give you the opportunity once again to tell us what the theme for this year's celebration is and anything you want to say in closing.
So the theme for this year's celebration is Children's Care and Education Matter. Let children grow, glow, and flourish. And we want to encourage parents out there to remember that the children are our greatest assets. This is a future of tomorrow. And so spending time with them, encouraging them, supporting them, guiding them is critical.
Doctor?
Yes, we all have an important part to play. We all have an important part to play. Our children have a right to an education, to care. We want to ensure that they have high quality education for all of our children, a safe place for all of our children, free from all forms of abuse. We want to ensure that the basic needs are provided so that our children can grow, glow, and flourish. So I want to wish all our children have an enjoyable Child Month celebration, and I want to encourage our parents to let's continue to support our children and do the best for our children.
In closing, one suggestion to you. I would like to see the Ministry of Education and most education practitioners not just wait for Child Month, but at least if you all can have a once a month 1 hour program like this, that will really make a lot of sense. What do you think?
Good suggestion, very good suggestion.
And that was pro bono, right? You don't have to pay for that, all right? Have yourselves a wonderful day.
Thank you.
And I do hope to interact with you again before the end of the Child Month, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Have yourselves a wonderful day. All right, folks, I've been talking there with Dr. Let me tell you, Dr. Charmaine Christopher. She is the Deputy Chief Education Officer in the Early Childhood Education Unit, and also Ms. Karen Worm, the Early Childhood Education Officer. We take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back after these messages.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
MegaFest 2022 Gospel Explosion is finally here. Join the youth of the Grenada Conference of Seventh-day Adventists under the green and white tent at Progress Park in St. Andrews from Sunday, October 9th to the 29th at 7 p.m. and continuing where the ever-exhilarating Pastor Oliver Scott shouts to the kingdom of darkness with thundering messages from the Word of God. If you ever needed the Lord before, we sure do need Him now. Come find hope in the midst of your pain. See you there.
Folks, I'm sweating. I'm really sweating. I break a sweat. Now, here's the reason why. Scholar decide he lose the marble, so he organize some fellas in Shantimel. They want to play wind ball cricket. So I take in front, I come down in River and Twine, and I get on 2 nice coconut branch and I have 2 nice coconut bat. All you see them? We're ready for them. That's why I'm sweating too. My 2 coconut bat. So Friday on Week Culture, we go tell you how the match go. I mean, we win already, but in any event, we ready for them. We have with 2 bat. This one is for Doc, and that long handle, that is for me. So be sure to join us this Friday on Week Culture, and we go tell you all about wind ball cricket as little fellas growing up. When we didn't have wind ball, we play with Gospo, Young, Breadfruit, Lime, and don't forget Compo, but we ain't have plastic now. So we go stick with the wind ball, the Gospo, or the Breadfruit. Friday on Week Culture, join us.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners, to The Buzz this morning. What's making the buzz? Well, it's Good Morning Grenada, of course. It's 14 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock workers, I urge you to be at least 1 minute away from your workplace. You need to give yourself 15 minutes to settle down. Once again, I want to say happy birthday to Aurora Joseph out there in Corinth in St. David. You're celebrating your 3rd birthday today. Well, happy birthday to you. I usually call her Scrimmer. And I want to say good morning also to Keisha and Marcia out there from Care Bears Preschool in Back Road, Tempe. As a matter of fact, I want to say good morning to all the early childhood caregivers, you know, the people in the preschools and daycares and so forth. Good morning to our nation's children. As hinted earlier, we are going to get into, with the time we have left, what's making the buzz. And there's something that's buzzing this morning, and it's the Kariku Parang Festival. I want to reach out to my folks on the Sister Isles this morning, so we're going to touch base on that a little bit. Now, there's a call for more businesses to support culture on the Sister Isles as Kariku launches its 45th annual Parang Festival. I want to hear what's your take on this. You're going to see that was run in our GBN television news last night. We are going to take a listen at this, and then we are going to come back and take your calls. Also making the buzz while my TV guy gets that story up. Right, the ministry launched its a new ministry yesterday. All right, we're going to talk on that as well.
Minister for Kariku and Pitimatnik Affairs and Local Government, Tevin Anju, expressed his disappointment with the lack of support from businesses on the Sister Isle in the planning of the 45th annual Parang Festival. The minister, who was speaking at the launch of the festival, reminds businesses that once the festival grows, the entire community benefits. He is calling on more businesses to come forward and support culture.
When our festival activities grow, Kariku and Pitimatnik grows. And for Kariku and Pitimatnik to grow, it means that every business, every individual, all of us must be on board to participate in one way or the other. The business community in particular benefits a lot whenever activities like this are put on. And I'm a bit disappointed that more businesses have not yet come forward. But maybe after the launch, Mr. Modest, more businesses will come on board to make a contribution.
Government has increased its subvention to support the festival as they intend to continue the preservation of the cultural heritage. Minister Andrew says that the increase in funds will go towards the growth and development of the festival for years to come.
We understand the importance of building and preserving our cultural heritage. The Parang is 45 years this year. And with that, we recognize that we have to keep the tradition alive so that it can grow from strength to strength. And we decided that this year, for the first time in Parang's history, that Parang will receive not $25,000 from the Ministry of CARICOM Petit-Martinique Affairs, but $100,000 from the Ministry of CARICOM Petit-Martinique Affairs.
Chairman of the festival, Angus Modest, disclosed some of the planned events for this year's festival.
This year, we are extremely proud to say that we have reintroduced the Friday night Hosanna singing competition, in which we have a total of 9 bands registered so far. The Saturday night will see a combination of regional and local artists, such as the soca sensation from Trinidad and Tobago, Lyrical. Also, from Trinidad and Tobago, the reggae phenomena, Isasha, together with the unit band from Grenada, Golden from Caribou, and other local acts. On Sunday, 18th of December, our most look forward night will showcase string band melee competition at its truly best. We have a total of 6 bands registered so far. This year's festival promises to be a very exciting one.
Carriacou Parang Festival 2022 will be held from December 16th to the 18th under the theme Embracing Our Culture Through String and Carols. For GBN News, I am Rena Pet Thomas reporting.
Great. I love this. Now, this is an opportunity for you, the folks on the sister isles of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique, and maybe even folks in Grenada. As a matter of fact, Parang, it's part of, well, it's Carriacou, so it's part of us as well. It's part of our culture. As a matter of fact, I want to say good morning to you, Chucky. Chucky is promoting a big Parang show come the 5th of November up at the Spice Basket. But we want to talk about the significance, not just of the Parang, but of businesses, right, private entities playing a most supportive role in activities of that nature. Good morning.
Morning, Innocent, and morning to your listeners and to your viewers. I think instead of saying businesses, in fact, it's good that the government is increase their contribution to the festival. But I think instead of saying businesses to get more involved, it should be the community. Let me say that the logic, according to Vananda Shiva of India, he said the logic of profit and the logic of life are two different. Whenever businesses get a hold of any social or community process, they always alter how it is done. We have seen it happen, whether it's in the Grenville Rainbow Festival, St. Mark's Day, and the St. Patrick's Day, and others. So we always call in more business, and by the time business come on, they destroy what the real original purpose was. So we need to engage, we need to encourage more community participation where you will develop people's skills in terms of organizing and leadership and so on. Okay. So while business has to be involved, but it must not be the one people looking for salvation. We say that business is the private sector is the engine of good, but where is it? Have you seen any sign of that? So we are always fooling ourselves. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, caller. Thank you. Well, of course, I respect your opinion, but I do know that government cannot do everything. as we just heard from the representative, the honorable gentleman from Carriacou, Tevin Andrews, government has increased it from $25,000 to $100,000. Now, that to me, that's a marked increase, and that's something in the right direction. But we cannot leave it up to government alone. We need, because in the final analysis, when the activities do well, the businesses thrive better. The businesses are the ones who see increased profit. So it is important, that's in my opinion, that private entities get involved in a sponsorship role in such activities. Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, that is a touchy topic there. Because I've been always advocating that the government could make the move to help the people in the cultural sector. When they had the cricket in Grenada here, they put what they call the sunset legislation, and it ended the night of the last day of the World Cup in Grenada here. So everybody get roped in. It's a very small percentage that they put on all goods and services. You can put up 0.50% on all goods and services when it comes to culture, carnival.
Okay.
You start, you have to know which month to start. So you have to look at the time all the goods coming in for the carnival. So maybe March, April, and it must end midnight. So then you don't need no platinum sponsor and no gold sponsor. You treat it just as how you treat the EVL on the electricity bill. And it must end midnight, Tuesday night. So all who bringing in all this stuff and enjoying the luxury carnival are not paying a penny. You don't have to go to them. You collect all the money at the airport or in customs or it is. Just 0.50%.
So, caller, are you suggesting that activities, cultural activities, for example, the Carriacou Parang Festival, are you saying that they do not need private sponsorship or private assistance?
What I'm saying, they need it because the local people, they make money. That is what I'm saying. But there's a lot that make money during those festivals that doesn't contribute not even as much as $10. So you don't have to go to them or even beg them like how we beg them on the television. They know. You put in a legislation where for a certain month, you have to choose, you have to sit down and I think you have to put a little thought into when we must start it, when we must end the night when the festival ends. That's why they call it sunset legislation.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. I get the gist. I get the gist of it. Yeah. Now I'd like to hear from somebody from Carriacou. Somebody from Carriacou, call me. Leftist, good morning. How are you? Mr. Kim Mills. Yeah, how you doing, man? Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning. Innocent, I heard even the minister from Carriacou talking about support from the business community. But, a lot of times when we're doing things, we know engagement. I think the first caller alluded to that. We always think that people hear what's going on. And the important issue of engaging people, so you get a concern. Sometimes things are happening, and people who you think might be so close to the thing don't really, they might be benefiting. But do we make sufficient effort to engage people? In this era now, we got to engage because we want to transform in going forward. Have a good day, Innocent.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you oh so much. Yeah. It's strange. Nobody from Carriacou called me, boy. Wow. Nobody, I wonder why. All right, folks, it's 2 minutes away from 8 o'clock, and this is where we put a wrap on the program this morning because we've got to make preparation for that bulletin of news from the British Broadcasting Corporation. And, so we've got to make preparation for that. But we didn't get much time to go into the buzz as we normally do. But those of you who participated, want to say good morning and thank you once again to Dr. Christopher and Miss Worm from the Ministry of Education as they briefed us on some of the activities that will be taking place throughout the month of October, which is designated Child Month. All right, so thank you for participating in the program. And for the folks in Carriacou, man, kudos. And I must once again commend the Honorable Deacon Mitchell's administration on seeing the importance and significance of supporting such a cultural initiative to ensure that there is longevity, to ensure that it is passed on to the future generations. There are so many of our cultural traditions that get passed by the way, you know. If you look at, let's say, Grenada Carnival, certain aspects of it is dead or is on its way to the cemetery because of lack of support, lack of initiatives, and lack of wanting to pass it on. So once again, kudos, and the folks of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique, I look forward to your Parang Festival this year. Folks, that's it. We take a, well, not a break. This is it from the television aspect. Good Morning Grenada continues after the news from the BBC. Thank you. Have yourselves a great weekend. Remember, on Monday, if the good Lord spare our lives, I want to speak with you, not about you, all right? So have a good one.